Hey guys, so we are going to apply our knowledge of one-point perspective to create an interior space. We do not need to draw a horizon line because we are going to be inside of a room. So to begin, you're going to make an X with a straight edge connecting all four corners of your paper. Now this X is going to create the ceiling on top, the floor on the bottom, and the sides are going to become the walls. So to create our back wall, we are going to put a box on all of the lines of the X. Make sure that you have 90-degree angles when you create this rectangle. Now that vanishing point is actually going to be in the center of the X. You can erase the lines because now this rectangle is your back wall. The two walls are on the sides, the ceiling's at the top, and the floor's at the bottom. So all of your vertical lines and your horizontal lines are going to create the shapes that you're going to develop your prisms on. I have an edge of the door here. Next, I'm going to start with a very tall bookcase I have that holds a lot of my art supplies. It almost reaches the ceiling. So I create my rectangle for the edge of the bookcase, because if I were standing at the back wall, the first shape I would see is the edge of this bookcase. So now that I have my edge, I'm going to find my vertices, and all of those are going to disappear into the vanishing point from the top and the bottom. Now the bookshelf, it doesn't reach all the way into the distance. It's going to stop about right here. So I'm going to close off my prism and erase those lines that I don't need. Now for the rest of my shapes, I'm not going to do the lines connecting all the way to the vanishing point. I'm going to stop approximately where they stop on my photo. To make it look a little bit more realistic, I'm going to add a little bit of an edge to my bookcase, creating a smaller rectangle on the inside. And then I find where my shelves are. I go to that outer edge where they all begin, and then to make them look correct, I create two little lines for the shelves on each of the marks I made for the distance. And you're going to see that using this one-point perspective is going to kind of make them look as though they're fanning out. The next thing that I'm going to see is this little shelf that holds big drawers. I have a few big drawers that hold my bulkier items. So the edge of that is a shorter rectangle. So I'm going to create that and erase the lines that are underneath this form. This is called overlapping. So if something's in the front, you're not going to see the things behind it. So I stop my lines that are going into the vanishing point, find the distance of it, and then create the lines that are being overlapped. Now because if I were to stand at the back wall and this shelf is a little bit lower than my eyesight, I'm going to see a little bit of the top. Again, I mark where my drawers begin and I have them vanish into the vanishing point. Now I skipped over the easel because it doesn't follow the same rules as the rest. It doesn't use the one-point perspective and I didn't want to complicate things. So I sketched that in there and I didn't want to have to stress you out. The next thing I'm going to notice is the desk that I'm actually working on right now. So my desk is going to be in a rectangular shape, but it's not a box. So you're going to be able to see through the legs. So the two legs in the front are the closest to me. And now I'm using my perspective to draw the legs on the opposite side towards that back wall. They're going to be a little bit shorter and a little bit inside. add a little bit of trim because I have some trim on my floor. And next, for my window, I have everything set to where I have really good lighting when I'm doing my artwork from this window. It's a rectangle. And my window has a little bit of an edge where it goes in. So I'm going to use my perspective, have that little edge go in to make it look a little bit more realistic, and then close it off. I do have a painting over here, so I add the vertical line that's closest to me, and I have that go back towards that vanishing point to get the tops and bottoms of the paintings. Now for the chair that I sit in, I'm just going to freehand this one because it's not really clean rectangles and triangles. So I freehand my little chair in. And then I draw my little wastebasket with 2 ellipses, and then I connect those and erase the lines that I don't need anymore. And for the last one, I thought it'd be nice to have this painting go off the edge. And here's the finished work. I can't wait to see what you guys are looking at. Please remember to use the hashtags.